Hey guys, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. My name's Neil and it's time for the next episode of Lost. This is episode 17 of season 3, guys. We're in the home stretch. We had a great reveal at the end of last episode. We know that Juliet is a mole within the community, and not surprising revelation, but a very interesting one nonetheless. She's still allied with Ben. She's there at his design, and we don't know what that design is. So I'm very curious to see what happens there. Also, for the first time since season 2, all our survivors are back together in one place. Minus Locke, who might now be another, who knows. But everybody is back in Survivorville. We get to see new dynamics there. You know, Sawyer is hopefully a team player now after Hurley's lesson of a few episodes ago. Juliet seems to have won over some of our survivors now. She always had Jack on her side. She won Jack over early on, but by saving Claire through that deception, she seems to be headed in the right direction for her plans, the wrong direction for our survivors' best interest. So let's see what happens there next. This episode is called Catch-22. I've noticed in season 1 and season 2, we had a lot of episode titles that were named after classic rock songs. Now it seems we've got a number of episodes that are named after like high school reading books, stuff that was on high school reading lists. You know, we had Stranger in a Strange Land. Now we've got Catch-22. The Joseph Heller, I believe Joseph Heller wrote it, about the Korean War and the absurdities of war in general and of the bureaucracy of the military specifically. I don't know if that's what this will refer to at all, or whether it's a throwaway title, or whether it has a completely different meaning. We know that Catch-22 has sort of entered the vernacular after the novel of being a situation. Like in the novel, Yossarian, that was his name. I've been trying to remember it in the back of my mind for the last few minutes. He was a pilot, and he didn't want to fly anymore. He was done with the war. He wanted out. And there was one way to get out, by being diagnosed mentally ill, mentally insane. And so that was his tactic. But the Catch-22 was that no pilot wants to stay in. It would be insane to want to stay, and therefore the desire to leave proves that he is sane. And that's become the Catch-22 that applies to any situation like that, but that your desire to do something is the one thing that's stopping you from doing it. So let's see if this has anything to do with that. You know what? Before we jump into this, guys, I do have an announcement to make. After months of scattered requests, I have finally started my Patreon page. Now, I am not good at self-promotion. I'll be the first to admit that. But if you are interested in my full-length reactions, you can find them on my Patreon page. The link is down below. If you want early access to my YouTube videos, you'll find them on Patreon a week or two in advance. If you want to vote on the shows that I react to in the future, you can do it by joining my Patreon as well. So if that's something that interests you, by all means check out the link. I would love your support. But if you'd rather just watch this episode, that's great support for me too, and I appreciate the time that you are spending here on my channel. Let's jump into it. This is episode 17 of season 3, and it's called Catch-22. I'll take another Desmond episode any day.
You're insane, mate. Superman can fly around the entire planet in the blink of an eye.
Pure foot race? Suits would get dusted by the Flash.
But
it's true.
Why would the Man of Steel agree to a sodding foot race? Perhaps we should fit Superman with a pair of kryptonite.
Oh! No way. What the hell?
I'm sorry, man.
What? Another vision? That can't be. You don't kill somebody in the opening scene of a. Okay.
Superman can fly around the entire planet.
One big old flash that leads to Charlie's death.
There's a wire, a cable buried in the sand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
This is future crab, isn't it?
The cable, do you know where it is?
It's gonna happen again.
Because someone's coming.
So, who's the flashing red light in the sky? Is that the someone? I mean, that's certain. And then there's like a parachutist dangling from a tree. So somebody's found the island. When is this? Obviously pre-sailboat, but how does this relate to the military?
God tests our faith in many ways. Personally, Desmond, I never thought you'd last. Your path has led you here, and now you're one of us.
Man of faith.
Welcome, brother.
Thank you. Brother.
Is that where brother comes from?
Home sweet home.
Still not sure why they aren't using the Otherville bungalows.
Oh, this is like when you knew Claire was drowning, isn't it? Look, dude. You want me to take you to the wire? I want an explanation. What'd you see?
I don't know how the pieces fit exactly, but one of the pieces, the first one,
Is you on the wire.
So what are the other pieces?
I'll tell you that. It'll change the picture in the box.
So you're not trying to stop something from happening. You actually want it to happen.
He wants Charlie to die? Oh, because he saw her. Of course.
More than anything.
So he's willing to sacrifice Charlie if it means Penny. Is Penny coming?
Hey, Freckles, you home?
Thought you weren't allowed to use nicknames.
So you're
What the hell?
exempt. Ah. So did you tell him?
Did I tell who what?
You know.
He knows.
What he knows.
You need me to make you a mixtape?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Mixtapes. There's a whole generation of you that will never understand the power of a mixtape.
So, if he doesn't come, then neither does the someone you won't tell me anything about.
That'll be the long and short of it.
Watch the master.
Tempting.
Well,
Yes.
Everybody likes marshmallows.
We need one more.
Des,
How daft do you think I am? You've had another one of your visions, haven't you?
Someone's coming to the island.
It's got nothing to do with me.
Well, you're a part of it, yeah? As a gin and holly.
so there's some ambiguity here. Oh,
Well, that's
never
not gonna
mind.
happen. Not this time.
Never mind. I wasn't sure whether that opening scene or not, with Charlie getting the arrow to the throat, was something that Desmond had actually seen, because it was shot differently than the remaining part of the flash. But now it's clear that he's seen Charlie's death and he's willing to sacrifice Charlie for Penny. And if this is kind of a final destination thing, maybe Charlie's fate is unavoidable. Ah, Bridge on the River Kwai whistle song. Great movie. Check it out.
This is it?
I mean, sure, it's full of like outdated colonial and British superiority tropes, but
Where is it then?
nevertheless, great movie by David Lean.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Mariah. I find the name.
Vineyard in Scotland.
Well, Moriah is a mountain where Abraham was asked to kill Isaac.
And yet God spared Isaac.
God need not have asked Abraham to sacrifice his son in the first place.
Well, then it wouldn't have been much of a test, would it, brother?
I met this man right out the gates. He says he needs to have a word with you.
What? Who is he? I don't think I recognize him. Are we supposed to?
The oatmeal's awesome.
It is, huh?
It's strange, huh? Being back. Not looking for a way out of a cage. Almost don't know what to do with myself.
Well, enjoy it. I'm sure something will go wrong soon enough.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
I was just wondering whether Juliet got the episode off or not. Yeah, Kate, you kind of blew it. And I get that Sawyer may have needed it in that moment.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Shut up and don't talk.
Well, this is interesting because Kate's basically decided she has no chance with Jack ever again, so she might as well have Sawyer.
그러니까 그 남자가 웃으면서 이만 머릿속에 아직도 박혀 있다.
Who's that?
Woman I was gonna marry, and the woman who might be coming.
My name's Penny. So how did you manage to leave her behind and come here?
Long story.
Because I'm a coward. She never gave up. Then maybe she spent the last 3 years
Looking for me.
looking for me.
We do know she got a clue at the end of season 2.
What's that?
Chopper. Here comes the red light.
Is that how a helicopter's supposed to sound?
No.
No.
What is it? It's just lost power? Helicopter crash? Oh man.
Look!
Parachute? Is it actually Penny?
No, it's gonna be light in 2 hours. We'll wait until
She
then.
can't wait.
She?
They, whoever it is, could be hot.
That's the way it's supposed to happen.
Catch-22.
Right, well, I guess it's supposed to happen without me.
Okay. Does it only happen if Charlie goes? Like, why not go without him? Why not go without him? You can still find the person.
Is your sister in?
Oh, it's Penny's brother.
Leave. No.
Is it Penny's brother?
Let him be, Derek.
Hello, Ruth.
Who's Ruth?
I felt like I owed you an explanation.
You left 1 week before the wedding. Everything was planned, bought, and paid for. We dated for 6 years, and the closest you ever came to a religious experience was Celtic winning the cup.
Look,
Go Rangers.
I raised my eyes and I asked, am I doing the right thing?
Raise your eyes and look north. I think this is pre-Penny. They dated for 6 years, and then he became a monk. Is this how he meets Penny in the past?
Well, it's a good thing a bloody shepherd didn't help you up. Or I suppose you'd be off with the sheep, wouldn't you? Next time you want to break up with someone, Des, just tell the girl. You're too bloody scared.
You coward. Yeah, this is pre-Penny. Okay.
What I wanted, Doc, was to inform you there's been some development since you were AWOL.
Ping pong.
How's your backhand?
We don't play every 108 minutes. Silence, guys. Finally, something I can beat you at.
What's next?
Next?
Yeah, you saw The Wire. Now what?
I've seen The Wire. It's great. Great show. Maybe my favorite show of all time. Although Lost is right up there, guys.
I've saved your life 3 times now. If that hasn't bought me your trust, I don't know what will.
And if you don't get a move on, we're not going to make it before nightfall.
Look at this. This shows a massive rock will be flying at my head right
Oh, wreckage. What do we got? What do we got?
Did that come down with the flashing red light thingy?
Well, that's an important prop book right there. Catch-22, Joseph Heller. But Ardita, is that Portuguese?
That's a satellite phone. Crap, it's dead.
Oh. Yeah, so they're Penny's men.
Is that you? That would be Penny.
Okay, so I don't think Penny's making the trip, but maybe she's got people trying to find the island. An actual mixtape?
Your mixtape.
How do you find a blank cassette?
The best of Phil Collins, huh?
Don't get picky. If Bernard asks, I don't know a thing about it.
Thanks, James.
You ain't gotta use me, Freckles.
All you gotta do is ask.
Man, Sawyer saw right through it all.
Penny, you think it's actually her who bailed out the helicopter?
Earlier, I hoped it. Now I know it. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want anything to change.
If whatever you're seeing leads to your girl getting us rescued, why would we want to change anything? Right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
There's the rain. Moral quandary. Are you gonna go through with it, Desmond? I mean, the person is on the island, but I feel like from his flashes, they're dead.
Getting pissed on a lovely wine. I'll take the penance.
I'm afraid you're beyond penance, Desmond.
Brother, Desmond.
No.
Not anymore.
You're out. Yeah, coward.
I have little doubt that God has different plans than you being a monk, Desmond. Bigger plans.
Oh, I sure he does.
He does.
Desmond becomes a more and more interesting character with every bit of extra info we get.
If you haven't noticed, dude, I'm not exactly the Flash.
The Flash is pathetic.
You got something against the fastest man alive?
Can fly around the entire planet.
Here we
in the
are.
blink of an eye.
Dude, if we're going by a pure foot race, well, no smashing allowed.
Stop it, Desmond.
No
Stop
fighting.
it. Stop it.
No
Stop
smashing.
it.
Any other-
Don't let it happen. Get...
Charlie, stop!
He did it. He saved him.
Dude.
Okay, so things are going different now, but at least Desmond has a soul.
How about we split up? You and Jin. Stick with Desmond.
Charlie wants his guardian angel nearby.
Even before we set off, you knew all this time, didn't you?
Aye.
Well, then why didn't you say anything?
Because if I told you the truth, you wouldn't have come.
You thought the only way you could get your girl back was if I took an arrow in the head.
Yeah, but he
You're gonna
saved you.
sacrifice me.
He saved you.
I was supposed to let you die, Charlie. It's just gonna keep happening again and again. Maybe that's the point, eh? Maybe it's a test.
Hey, can you hear me?
No, that's a dead body. It's not Penny. It's one of the Portuguese dudes.
Dude, she's not moving.
The book wasn't in English.
I'm sorry, Betty.
It's not her.
Please thank him for his generous donation. Always a pleasure.
And this is how we meet her. Yeah. There she is.
I think we should be able to fit it all in the back, and if not, we'll put the rest in the front.
Absolutely.
They can't kill Penny off so unceremoniously as this.
This vineyard only makes a limited number of these cases each year.
108.
Is that so? I mean, just think if you hadn't got fired, we wouldn't have met, and then how could you possibly help me unload these crates in Carlisle?
Did I say I was coming to Carlisle with you?
Not yet.
You know, I don't usually get into cars with strangers.
Well, in that case, I'm Penelope.
Look at them getting off right off the bat.
She's alive.
I'm here.
Is it her?
Penny.
It's... Yeah. Who is it? What's her story?
Doesn't.
She works for Penny. This show never fails with the big new reveals, you know? Yeah, I said it during the reaction, but I'll repeat it because it's worth mentioning. Desmond just becomes a more and more interesting character with everything more we learn about him. I loved this section of backstory about him, that that the way he ran away from Penny isn't a one-time thing, that it's a bit of a pattern from him. He was about to get married to another woman entirely, Ruth, and he bailed just a week before the wedding, decided to become a monk because that's where you run away, right? But that ultimately led to him meeting Penny. And what would you do if you had these premonitions, these flashes of the future? Like, how would you deal with that? What would you react the way Desmond does? I don't know. It's fascinating to watch. It opens up a whole can of questions, especially the Charlie question. Is like, Charlie, is he just fated to die? Like, why did we bring Charlie along on that trip? Like, would things have turned out any different on the trip if Charlie hadn't come? They still would have seen heard the helicopter. They still would have seen the beacon. They might have set off 2 hours earlier instead of waiting for first light. And if that's the case, then someone else could have got hurt, perhaps. I am glad to see that Desmond has a heart. He has a soul. He decided that he couldn't sacrifice Charlie, that he could mess with his vision, his premonition, enough to save him yet again, even though you can see his frustration over continually having to do it starting to boil to the surface. And we found the parachutist who came from the supposed helicopter. We have to, let's assume it's a helicopter that crashed. Something made that helicopter fail as it approached the island. So is there another barrier? Something along the lines of our sonic fence, but at a bigger scale, that is shielding the island from the outside world. It's that city under glass thing that I've talked about since season 1. Is this one more piece of evidence to support that theory? It wasn't Penny who was the parachutist, but it's clearly somebody sent by Penny. At least that's where my mind's at, because there was the photo in the book. This woman, I'm gonna say Brazilian, because we had, I don't know even why I'm saying Brazilian at this point. Here's how good this show is. At the end of season 2, we had this great tease of these 2 scientists in the, I'm going to say Antarctic, but it may be the Arctic, in some polar region, monitoring electromagnetic signals, and they spotted the anomaly, which was the Swan hatch imploding. And they were speaking in what I thought was Spanish at the time, but you in the comments have told me it was Portuguese. And when I think Portuguese, I either think Portugal or I think Brazil. And based on populations, it's a much better chance it's Brazil. And Brazil would kind of make sense if they were in the Antarctic, but maybe they're Brazilian, maybe she's Portuguese. But it feels like Penny's got a team of Portuguese scientists and helicopter pilots looking for the island, and this one got close. And maybe she survived, but maybe she died. It will be very interesting to see if this newly introduced character lasts into the next episode, or whether she's basically DOA. But Penny is looking for Desmond, and now Desmond's aware of that. And 3 other guys are aware of that. So this is now common knowledge that somebody is looking for them. So what does that do to change what the survivors are up to, what they're doing? Will that prompt the others to sabotage that search somehow? So lots of things. The ball is rolling downhill and picking up steam as we approach the end of the season, guys. I'm very excited to see where we go next. and I get to watch the next episode right now. So thanks to all of you for joining me as always. I love your thoughts, I love your comments, I love your thumbs up and your subscribes if you haven't already. And until next time, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.